live. Hello. How was your? What kind of mic do you have there?
Me?
Yeah.
I have a Shure, just a dynamic microphone. So we use dynamic microphones because everything we do is on location.
Yes.
So I don't want studio mics because I don't want to.
So like an SM58 like we use here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
no, I think I have a 40 something.
Okay.
SM40.
I
went with the cheaper one.
If it's comparable to what we do here, you should be fine.
It is, yeah. Yours is a little bit better. Eventually, I'm going to go with that higher quality. It's just at the time I was buying everything and I was running out of money.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I've had to get because I ended up in Kansas and for some reason a mic didn't get packed in, so I found like it was a 58C. It was like $30 cheaper, and that's around here. I think it's over there actually.
Yeah.
So. But I try to separate that out because it's got a little bit different sound. So like that's more of the interview microphone than the studio, unless we like need the extra person in the studio. It's better than the old Behringer.
I mean, these mics. I mean, you hear the stuff that I put out. These mics do a pretty decent job.
Oh yeah, they're great.
For the cheaper model. Eventually, I would like to get higher. I'm starting to build a collection. I bought an Audio Technica shotgun microphone recently, so I gotta play around with that.
I got a few shotguns hanging around. So
shotgun bang. What's up with that thing? I want to know.
What's that, Kitty?
I said shotgun bang. What's up with that thing? I want to know. How does it hang straight up, way up?
One thing I don't understand about a shotgun microphone is where does it come up with its name? Because it doesn't make any sense because a shotgun releases multiple pellets that go everywhere, and a shotgun microphone is laser focused. It's kind of the exact opposite of.
I think it's the long barrel situation. It just that means a different thing for microphones than the gun.
I see.
But yes, I haven't seen anything from Chilla today.
I haven't either.
I hope everything's okay. I'm gonna give him till 5 after.
Quarantine.
What's up, Kraus? What's up, Anna? What's up, partner? What's up, Steve? The Yinzer bartender. I've been seeing those videos in my feed.
Yeah, I've been seeing those too.
I've also been trying not to drink. Hey, does vodka go bad?
No.
Okay.
I assume no alcohol goes bad.
That's because I don't know. It just tasted. Maybe it was just a really bad vodka then. So, because I'm just like this.
I haven't been drinking much myself. I don't know. I'm on this new medication, and I feel like I am when I drink. I feel like I feel the effects quicker, but when I look on all of the online research, it says it should be the opposite, where I'm not feeling the results. So I'm not exactly sure why.
People have reverse reactions sometimes, so
it doesn't make me feel drunk quicker. It just like makes me feel more dehydrated, and I don't like that feeling.
That makes sense. Oh no, I didn't include. I need to plug this in. Where is? Yep, I need my HDMI short. How did we do this last week? How am I missing? I'll be back.
So how are you doing, Katie? I haven't seen you in a while.
Good, pretty good. I was trying to think of something awesome of the week, and I was like, "There's nothing awesome. There's nothing."
You're awesome, so you're here.
Yeah, I was just having one of those days. I was like, "Crap."
Yeah. Yeah, my day's good. I'm just really tired. I just took a the medication I'm on keeps me awake, so that's good because I've been awake. It'll be 24 hours in about 2 hours. And then I took a B12. Was it B12? Yeah, B12 pill or B4, whatever it is. The drug that keeps you awake, the vitamin that keeps you awake. I took one of those too. Yeah, so I'm hoping that'll help me power through. So if I'm a little delirious and start like saying like word salad or something, it's probably the exhaustion.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Well, I left the doodad at home that I need. I left my doodad at home, and I can't show any websites tonight.
Sweet.
Oh.
Yep.
No doodads.
Unless it's in my backpack. So no website showing. Sorry, guys. This does not connect.
I can always do it in post for the non-live peoples.
No. We're not doing that.
Fix it in post.
We're not doing that.
No live. What?
I can't show
Hi, Chilla.
websites live unless I use the computer you guys are on. So yeah. No visuals, just our faces.
Oh, so.
Hey.
Get...
This is Chilla.
Hey, how's it going?
How you, Chilla?
Thanks.
Stop eating the cord.
Yeah, Chilla, stop eating the cord.
Yeah.
I'm
Chilla.
sorry.
Can you turn that light on? No, cat. he's like rubbing his face against all the cords. He's like, this is nice. That helped a little bit.
That is the awesome thing.
There's nothing. It's the end of time.
There's a lot happening. You
Is.
have to give me a full third segment. You're giving me unless it's your awesome thing. You're giving me a full Animal Crossing crazy social experiments rundown.
Yay! It's just every week I just talk about my Animal Crossing.
This week in Animal Crossing. Welcome to Awesome Crossing.
Yeah, I had to take like 10 minutes after the show to collect myself to prevent myself from purchasing Animal Crossing.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually a really great. Oh, sorry, Chilla.
Go ahead.
I was just saying that's actually a really great segment name, Awesome Crossing. Like that could be like a weekly segment.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to Awesome Cast.
I almost jumped on the Slack and was like, will you be my friend if I buy the game?
Well, yes, but well, yeah. Oh, there was an article I was reading about Animal Crossing FOMO. It's just like, yep.
I should have like positioned myself in a different way. I was trying to be more artistic with my background than like functional. So I'm on the short end of the table when I could have had like this giant table to like spread everything out, and I'm like I don't know what to do with the iPad, which I need to read the notes, and yeah.
Oh boy.
Which I didn't even do the artistic thing right because I got the kitchen in the background, which isn't really that great of a view.
Listen,
You can just start cooking back there, and it can become a cooking show.
yeah. Some people have started cooking shows like since they've been off.
It's a good idea.
Everything is so. We're like, oh, that's cool, but there's no like, oh, that's awesome. That's how I go by it. All
You
right.
hit cool, but not awesome.
Cool.
Sorry.
Yeah, welcome to the Cool Cast. That's all we have. I'm gonna go with the NBA. I'm gonna go with the NBA story.
I'm trying to figure out what I want to do.
Oh, I know that
Still
story.
need a minute.
I think I know that story.
You
That's what I was saying before all of you. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Good.
If you don't go, I will.
Oh, go ahead. You go. I interrupted last time and went.
It's my turn to interrupt.
Yes.
Did you see? And I'm going to put this in the notes. But did you see that the Star Wars Jedi Academy, like all the PC players figured out how to crossplay? Like it's not supposed to crossplay, but they called it a console bloodbath because all of the PC gamers are coming in and annihilating the Switch gamers.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Wow. Very cool. I want to play that game. I haven't played that one. I want to play the lightsaber one with the Samsung where you can actually swing the lightsaber.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That always looks like that would be a lot of fun.
Yes. I wish that was compatible with my Beta S6 Oculus situation.
Yeah.
Well, did you see? I read somewhere and I couldn't find the article again. they're talking about discontinuing the Samsung Oculus stuff.
I thought they already had.
Oh, had they? Okay.
I thought it was already out the door. I thought they already were like. I mean, it still works. I logged into the other day just to see if it was still a thing.
I was still getting app updates a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe just Oculus is providing, but I don't know because it's their interface. So
Yeah.
it's just on a Samsung device and they got to brand it. So I don't know. Either way, are you guys ready to roll?
I'm ready.
All right. Here we go. Oh wait, let me do these real quick.
Feels so weird. I've never done this show remotely.
You've never had to.
I know. I don't like to. I'm a people person.
Man, damn it.
Well, yeah, you know my stance. I always just want. We built this thing to have people in the studio,
Mm-hmm.
and I've
You got a studio to have people in
I
the
got
studio.
I got a studio to have people in the studio, not for just me to sit here and eat pizza by myself.
Why can't I get into the dock?
Rico was working today. Apparently
Aw.
they're shorthanded. I'm just like I don't recognize this guy's voice on the phone, and he knows my name. Huh.
Mm.
And I walked in. I'm like,
Darn
oh,
you, caller ID.
I walked in. I'm like, oh, it's Rico. What's up, guys? So, anyways. All right, here we go. Hey guys, it's time to get geeky, get awesome. It's not recording. Hold on. There we go.
You were like on a roll too. You had like came in with all sorts of energy, and then it was.
Yeah, it's gone. There goes all my energy.
Hashtag hot mess.
So I wish I had Dudders energy right now. Jeez.
I wish I had any energy right now.
All right. Hey guys, it's time to get geeky, get awesome. It is the AwesomeCast. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on the Twitter and in the Sorgatron Media Studios by myself in the Sorgatron Media Studios. I'm just like visually proving the quarantine is happening still, even though we're up here in the office. But with us, we got everybody is here remotely, of course, coming at us from Studio C in the Big D is John Chilla.
How's it going?
I can see your pipes. It's very steampunk.
You can see my pipes?
Yes.
They're huge, aren't they?
That was a great visual. I'm glad and reached just above your title too. He's a gadget guru with Big Bank International, Esquire.
I pump the iron.
He pumps the iron. Also with us, also pumping the iron in Studio D in the Big C. Is that what we're calling it? Yes. I feel weird saying that. I'm like, that sounds mean, but okay. That's what's on the note card, so I'm going to say it.
Hi.
Do you want to show your pipes off so you can also be...
Well, it's funny because we're laughing about this is my living room and it looks like a basement between the paneling and the outdoor staircase and the glass block window. But yes, this is my living room. Welcome to the
Chillin's in the basement. Dudders looks like she's in the basement. I don't think our next guest has a basis. Brian Crawford of pghmuseums.org on the line with us this week. How you doing, Brian?
I am highly medicated. That's the only reason why I am awake. That's my awesome thing of the week. I'm putting it out there right now.
Listen,
I do have a basement.
We're all highly medicated. Oh, you do have a basement.
I do. Yeah. Great storage unit. You know what? I do want to say real quick, if I can take some time. I'm really excited because every time I'm invited onto the show, it's because they can't get Dudders. It's always like, oh, we can't get Dudders in here. Let's get this guy in. At least he's got a mouth. You know, he can talk. It's kind of like I'm like the B team. So it's nice to be brought in with Chilla and Dudders. I feel like I've ascended into the A team here for all.
There you go. There you go. Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us, Brian. And I don't know why the switcher isn't working. There it is. Hello. But this is the AwesomeCast. Please check out everything at awesomecast.com. If you're on visual with us, I forgot a dongle. so you're not getting any articles in visual form. So sorry about that. Podcasters, you're not going to notice the difference. It's going to look exactly the same as it does every week to you podcasters. But anyways, awesomecast.com. Tweet us at AwesomeCast, Facebook AwesomeCast, and please subscribe and rate us on your favorite podcast app. You can also follow for video versions on our Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube page. And of course, we're live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And we are streaming on multiple platforms for AwesomeCast. But of course, the conversation, the discussion is happening over on the Facebook page. Unless something happens to Facebook, like this apparently happened to us on Wrestling Mayhem show last week after this show. Facebook went down. It's been doing that for a lot of people, and it seems so. But thankfully, if this goes away, hop over to our Periscope because it's probably okay. So there's a little tip for you guys on the live right off the bat. So it's nice to have those backups and restream. Anyways, if you are catching us later, please you can tweet us and hashtag AC488 for the show, so you can continue the conversation throughout the week whenever you do get around to listening to the show. And if you want to be, nope, that's an old thing. And also thank you to our Patreon supporters, patreon.com/awesomecast. Thank you to people who do support the show, our friends at the Coffee Club level, Matt Weller, John DeGore, and John Carmen. And at the fan of the show level, the longest running Patreon supporter, Michael Fedor, and pghmuseums.org. Hello, who is here? So
I am here. Well, at least I'm one of the people.
There you go. And thank you everybody that does support the show. You know, there's a lot of craziness going on here, so it's really great that you guys still do have, those that are we understand, and thank you so much. It means a lot to us with everything going on right now. So let's get into our awesome things of the week. Dudders, what is going on? Harry Potter?
Yeah, I guess.
You guess?
As someone who's never I've seen one movie out of sequence and never read any of the books, I guess this is exciting for Harry Potter fans.
Mad Mike is doing his Legos over on the Monday Mayhem wrestling wrap up that we do, and it's been a while since I've watched Harry Potter movies, and he's just like, "You have time, go read the books." I'm like, "No, that's not happening." Anyways.
Well, I just realized I have two awesome things, so I'll go through this one and then I'll tell you my other one because it involves a Mr. Diggy DeGore.
Okay.
Because I want to give him a shout out. So the British Library has a Harry Potter, a History of Magic exhibit, and now it's available online through the magic of, Google Arts and Culture. So you can go through, you can check out different things. There's like an online exhibit, artworks and artifacts, videos, different collections, sketches of J.K. Rowling, like early ones, how to study like a wizard. It's really neat, actually, if you go through the things, and if you like the history of magic, it's really neat too. So I mean, it's a cool place to kind of explore and go beyond the books if you're reading the books or watching the movies.
Mm-hmm.
But it's part of Google's Arts and Culture, which is really neat. So yeah, explore outside your house.
So is this kind of like a Wikipedia for Harry Potter in some ways? Kind
of, yes, but more in depth. More photos, more videos, that kind of good stuff. And also, if you click on Google Arts and Culture, the first thing comes up is 7 awesome facts about dinosaurs. So you can learn about dinosaurs too, if you're in there. But yeah, my Diggy DeGore thing was, so Mr. Diggy DeGore invited me to his island on Animal Crossing because he's going to mail me a porta potty. On the game.
There's a lot
of game or in real life?
In the game, I wish it was real life.
There's a lot of toilet-related things in that game. I'm starting to see your affinity for it.
Yeah, there's and he actually has a whole room dedicated to toilets, and I tried to give him a gift of the upright toilet. It's a urinal, but they don't call that in the game, and he already had it, so I was disappointed. But he is sending me a porta potty by mail in Animal Crossing.
Wow.
Can I ask a question? Where is the where's the greatest or where's the best place you've ever pooped in the Berg?
Like the greatest, like the most ridiculous or wretched, or like greatest, like, oh, this is like, I would, if I had to like go back to a bathroom, this is the one I'm picking.
That one, the latter. Like a luxury bathroom or a very interesting bathroom.
I feel like this is a PGH museums, but another venture, like PGH Potties, where...
Oh, pghpotties.org. I need to go get that domain.
Yeah.
That's
we'll
awesome.
work on that.
We just get on.
I could give like a top 5.
Yeah.
Give a top 5.
Oh yeah, I've pooped all over this city.
I love it.
Oh no.
Save it for the podcast and the new website.
That's true.
Oh boy. Anyways, Brian, what's your awesome thing?
The bathroom on the top floor of 1 Oxford Center.
No.
I mean, it's great. It's got a view over the city. It's got a shower up
Wait,
there.
why you poop?
It's got a shower?
Oh yeah,
that
you can
attached
look
to a
over the city
gym?
while you're pooping. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's a shower up there. It's like the CEO's bathroom. It's fantastic.
You're not pooping in the shower, are you?
No, I don't even pee. in the
Brian's
shower.
Batman. That's his office.
I wish. No, my last job, I was able to poop all over the city in like luxurious offices, private clubs, and then of course like rat hole infested places as well. So I'm an experienced pooper, and I see a cat on the screen. That's fantastic.
I've always
Oh,
been
there
a
you go.
fan of the
Yeah.
bottom of the William Penn. There's
Oh,
kind of
I've
like
never- I've never pooped down there. I've pooped in the William Penn multiple times, but never downstairs, never in the basement. That would be
Oh, that is a
interesting.
nice bathroom.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very fancy. You feel it's like marble and very fancy.
Mm-hmm.
Very
You
nice.
feel very classy.
Podner in the chat room saying, just ask a runner. We've pooped everywhere.
That's a good point. He's probably pooped in some more interesting places than me. Maybe not as
Steve-
luxurious, but
Steve's with the Omni Hotel, always clean. No one that works there asks questions.
yeah, that is true. If you ever are downtown and you gotta go, like they don't like lock their doors or anything. You could just like walk in, use the restroom, then you can get like a coffee or a drink afterwards if you want.
Yeah. I mean, you could be. Yeah,
Right.
you could be completely just like, oh, I'm going to Starbucks and I'm going to go poop over here. So
Yeah,
it's your
and it
it's
is
your
nice.
Omni Starbucks poop. A true story. When senior year, we just randomly drove down to Pittsburgh from like an hour and a half away where we lived, in the middle of the night, which I'm sure was safe in 2000, 1999, whenever that was. And we had to go to the bathroom. We had no idea where we could go. And near the point, it used to be a Hilton, and I think it's something else now, the fancy hotel like right there by the park. And we went and peed in there, and we're just like, the urinals are like gold. What is this? And
Oh, yeah.
and Chachi and I always think back about that. Remember that time when we peed in the Hilton?
Well, if you ever
Yeah.
get a chance to relieve yourself at the Duquesne Club, they have like really like they have actual walls, and when you leave and you wash your hands, they have actual cloth towels that you
Ooh.
dry your hands with, and you drop them into like a laundry bin. And I believe I've never been there like when they were open. I was always there before they opened, but they have shoes shining stations as well. So I
Mhm.
believe you can actually then go sit there and get your shoes shined after you've taken a dump.
And this has been your pilot for Awesome Poop, coming soon to Sorgatron Media. Brian, what is your non-poop related awesome thing?
Yes. So I got a new computer lately, and I actually I
that
pretty
you
much
can
got it-
use while you poop now.
Oh
I
wait,
could,
is
yeah.
this the one? Is this the one that was you had to return the one that was locked and then?
Yeah, so
You
I
got a
bought I was trying to get a computer to do computer editing, and I went to buy a MacBook Pro, and when I got it, it was all sorts of issues. I'm not going to go into the whole story; it's too long. But basically, it was locked out through security settings from the previous owner, and there were no way to get rid of it. So I had to return it. And when I returned it, I was watching the tracking number. It got delivered to them from UPS, so I immediately went onto the chat and I said, "Hey, I need my money because I got to buy a new computer. This one was broken." There were all sorts of issues. I demanded a gift card. They gave me a gift card, and then there were still issues. So they couldn't refund my credit card quick enough, and they couldn't stop the transaction to give me gift cards. So they gave me like, I swear it was almost $800 worth of gift cards, way more than I even spent. And I ended up getting a Surface Pro 7 essentially for free. And I was able to get the keyboard and all of the supplies. And my awesome thing, I mean, I don't want to put even though the Surface Pro is an awesome thing, I feel like that's a little too generic. People know about it. But what people might not know about, and this is what I was really excited to pick up, is this little hub. So my Surface Pro only has one USB slot, which is not enough for me. So I was able to buy this hub, and it sticks right into the side of it, and it actually converts the HDMI, the mini HDMI, to a regular HDMI port,
Mm-hmm.
and it converts the one USB input into 3. And at the bottom, it has a slot for an SD card and a mini
Nice.
SD card. So I just stick that right onto the side of the computer. It hangs right on there. It's made specifically for it. And I can do everything right there. I got an external hard drive that I've attached, a wireless mouse, and then also like I use a lot of SD cards when I'm doing video and audio work for PGH Museums. So I'm able to completely go on the road when I am at work, and if I go on a lunch break or something like that, I can do some of the editing work while I'm there. And then I can come home and do it, and it's just so convenient. This little hub has really made the difference and really made this computer usable for me. Otherwise, it still would have been usable, but it would have been a lot more difficult to do everything that I need to do.
What is the brand of that?
I have no idea.
It's not marked on there.
It is not, but if you give me a second, I can find out for you because I just bought it recently. So it should be right in my orders here.
And there's comparable. If you just look for a Surface Pro USB adapters, like I'm seeing another one. This was like it's more of a USB-C based one for a newer one, but that looks like it's pretty standard that they have like the 3 USB and the HDMI output.
And in this one, it is called. I have it up here. It's from KETAKY, KETAKY. KETAKY, I think that's how you pronounce it, and it's great. I mean, I love the Surface Pro. Yeah, I really was interested in getting a MacBook Pro, and I got this thing, and I'm super thrilled with it. I'm actually kind of glad that the first computer didn't work out, even though I still love the MacBook Pro. Don't get me wrong. This thing, I love the touchscreen, which I was used to using with my last laptop. I really love the new Microsoft operating system. I think it's greatly improved on previous ones. And it's just really a comfortable keyboard. It's really comfortable to use. And what I really appreciate about it is I'm able to upload the 4K video, and I don't have to create any proxy files, which is something I've had to do in the past. And that's really made editing so much quicker for me.
Excellent. I think I found a version of that here, and we'll drop that link in there for anybody. Actually, awesome. This is one with an Ethernet port, actually.
Wow, that's really nice.
I'll go ahead and drop that in there. It looks like there's multiple versions of it as well. If I could find the share button in this app. Thank you for hiding that there. Awesome. So Surface Pro.
And pooping.
And you need that. And pooping. Jeez. But no, it seems like any of these devices, especially with as expandable as the iPad's becoming, which I think we were talking about with Chilla last week, the iPad seems to start resembling a Surface Pro in the long run.
Well, I've said that for a while, that I felt like Apple was way behind when it comes to professional tablets, because even Samsung beat them to the chase. And Samsung has a tablet that will work with a keyboard, and it switches to their I can't remember the name of that operating system, but they have their own desktop styled DeX. Thank you. Yeah. And it would switch to the DeX operating system. And that's a nice operating system. I used to have the dock for my Samsung when I had a Samsung phone. Mm-hmm. And I was really disappointed that the iPad Pro would not let you use a mouse. So I'm glad that they're moving in that direction. Yeah, and I think that will make them competitive.
And even some pretty major improvements, it looks like, coming up on that too. So, Chilla, what is your awesome thing?
So my awesome thing is the FCC announced today that carriers must adopt the stirred and shaken protocol by June 30th, 2021.
The what?
Well, the stirred, and I can't believe, I'm interested. I got to do some more research on why they called it this, but pretty much what they're saying is, so it's a authenticated caller ID mechanism that validates and verifies. It does a handshake to make sure the number coming up on your caller ID is actually the number they're calling from. So I don't know if you've ever run into this, but you occasionally get, a phone call and it's spam and you don't pick it up. And then you're like, was this really someone I know? And you call it back and some random person picks up and you say, I just got a call from this number. No, you didn't. It's because someone was spoofing their phone number, which is why there's so many spam calls from numbers that begin with the same 6 digits as yours. So they try to make it look like it's a legitimate number. It is a legitimate number. They're just borrowing it momentarily for caller ID purposes. So this will specifically is designed to combat robocalls, especially ones that hide their phone number. Like I said, it's this stirred and shaken protocol. And they're claiming, the FCC estimates that fraudulent call schemes cost Americans approximately $10 billion every year. One of the things this will do is it will put a caller verified notification up on your device to show that the caller ID is in fact who it says it is. Most modern smartphones support the feature, so shouldn't be a big deal. Other handsets will need to be updated. And for those of us with old school 900 megahertz phones sitting around the house wired on in, you may need to get a new home phone if you want to use this feature.
Well, thankfully that's probably not a large number, but still, like that's so. You're telling me my rotary phone might not work?
Your rotary phone may not work. The tick. No, not going to work.
Which is still in the basement of the where the studio used to be, and is we have not had a phone line for 10 years, I think.
I was going to say, are you keeping that in case like we go Matrix style, and are you worried about them cutting the hard line or what?
Wait, no, not really. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Because even if I get a phone line, it's going to be over VoIP anyway. So, like, it's still the same thing, right?
If you had to, if you got a new phone line, but then that technically they put that box in your house that converts the digital to analog, so the old school handsets work.
Well, my awesome thing is, one of the, of everything going on, at the very least, we aside from what is happening and the horrible thing that is surrounding that, everybody adapting to this new way of life in the coronavirus generation here. There's a lot of innovation, and there's a lot of new things being tried that we have seen kind of growing in the last few years, and maybe the thing that kicks them over the edge with this. One of those things is esports, apparently. Because there's always that pie in the sky, like, maybe the NBA will can just play a league with NBA 2K with the players or something like that. Well, guess what? It's happening, guys. The NBA is reportedly planning players-only 2K tournaments that will air on ESPN. Of course, they had to drop the season going into the finals. And I would say it's unlikely they're going to come back for the playoffs in general, I guess, and same with hockey, too. And so that is coming up. And also somebody who has already done this, Fox's virtual Texas NASCAR race sets an esports record with 1.3 million viewers, according to Fox News. And I believe that they are going to, because that was not done. That was on like maybe FS1 or something, or online. But this is actually going to continue to be the viewers across Fox and FS1 to become the highest rated televised esports event ever. And they're going to continue this.
How many people were drinking and didn't realize it wasn't a real race?
Listen, I haven't played a NASCAR game in a while, but
the graphics, the cameras kind of look off on this. I don't know.
So the biggest thing for me is when I imagine a NASCAR based game, I still just think Daytona USA. The Sega game. I
haven't played a NASCAR game in forever.
I literally played Daytona USA over Christmas because somebody had one in their basement.
I'll be honest with you. I'm surprised. Esports continues. Obviously, people can play from their homes. There's big teams. I think some of those teams, live in like a commune. But I'm really surprised that we haven't seen more of this, especially as I think Madden does like the pre-Super Bowl. They take the last Madden, pair up the teams, and run the simulator.
Yep.
I'm surprised that we haven't seen way more just simulated events.
We do, or Riz has done every year a Royal Rumble where he tries to get the Great Khali to win every year. So like, okay, it's happening in WWE, and you can argue maybe WrestleMania should have just been on 2K as well. We'll find out this weekend as they do an empty arena pre-taped WrestleMania. But there's that. That's how they're dealing with it. But yeah.
You know what might get me into esports? I mean, I am not somebody who appreciates it yet. But I think one thing that could really bring me into the fold is if they somehow were able to combine it with virtual reality, where I felt like I was in a crowd watching something. Like, I think that would be super cool.
I don't think that's too far away, because there was already between NBA and WWE were both part of the help me Chilla if you can if you remember the app, but there was an app that they were advertising. They have VR cameras, like the 180 stereoscopic cameras at the games, at the wrestling matches, around the wrestling ring, and they were presenting them in VR format. And it was like you could look around in the shot, and it was kind of, it was 180, but you could look behind you and you just saw like the logo or the match graphics or something in this like 3D set. When I was looking at the WWE stuff, I have not seen the NBA thing. So really, if you're talking about, this exists somewhere. This game exists in this game engine, and I don't think it would take terribly much for them to do a specialized version of it that they could plug in and do a virtual camera like that. So
what was the racing car game for the first Xbox at launch?
The first Xbox? Like Forza? No,
it wasn't Forza. I can't remember what it was, but that was one of the things you could do. It was like a street racing game, I think.
Ridge Racer?
Kraus is in the chat room. He'll remember. Like, it was one of the first ones to do really good, like, reflections off the trees and the glass of the car and stuff like that. That game, you could actually replay the race and kind of float around in a camera angle view and rotate all around the game. So I'm really surprised we haven't seen more VR type stuff to sit in on the action.
Was it Project Gotham Racing?
Project Gotham Racing, that was it. Yeah, that was like one of their launch titles. But I will say, if you get a chance, Brian, it's usually Friday nights at like 10 or 11 on, I think it's TBS or TNT. There's Kraus with the Project Gotham. Nice one. They do what's the game? It's like a capture the flag type game, and there's a couple different modes. Counter-Strike.
Okay.
So they do Counter-Strike matches, and it's like an esports league, and it's fun to watch. I mean, you get into, I mean, I'm not like a fan of specific teams, but you watch the players play, and it's kind of like, it's like being back in college, watching everyone play GoldenEye and rooting your friends on. So
yeah,
I'll be honest, I'm much more interested in that than I am watching like a basketball game in esports or a football game, because to me, what makes sports interesting, traditional sports, is the athletic ability of these people. Being able to see, for hockey, I'm a hockey fan, being able to see Sidney Crosby fall to the ice and somehow get a shot off on his knees, just that athletic ability is incredible. And someone, playing the video game in a sports sense, like an actual sport in esports, to me, it's like they're not athletes in that sense. But to see something like GoldenEye or something like that, to me, that's much more exciting, because that's not something that like you can, like, you can't go and see somebody gun someone down like that in real life. That's something that is a work of fiction, and to me, that's like kind of like an interesting strategy game that I really would be, I think, more interested in seeing personally.
I think it's going to be a matter of two things for esports for you to like it, for the general populace to like it. Obviously, this is just kind of a replacement thing, and that's why we drew 1.3 million viewers for an esports game, because it literally replaced the actual NASCAR race. But for esports as a whole to happen, there's two things. There's a presentation, so you can understand what I've never played Counter-Strike before, but here is this thing, and it needs to be accessible to the rest of us, right? Or rest of everybody, maybe not us on the AwesomeCast, but the rest of us, quote, air quotes. And also, I think when they start telling that story, like, you watch hockey because you're watching people that are really good at doing something physically that you can't possibly do. And I think when it comes to video games, eventually you'll start noticing that feeling. Like, you've watched, like, somebody play Street Fighter or something, and you're just like, I could never beat that guy, right? Like, it's kind of becomes it's still a top tier performance level, though not as physical. It still becomes an impressive feat in a different vein, and I think that's where people see, like, the top, I can watch a pro wrestler for $10 down at the gym locally, but to pay $50 to go watch John Cena perform is a whole different story, right? Because that's the top of his game versus this guy that's just figuring it out in a gymnasium. So
I agree with that. I mean, I think of myself back when I was in high school. We would have Halo parties, and I hated going to them because these people played Halo all the time and studied it, and I would respawn and I would instantly be killed. So I ended up giving up, and I just started attacking my own players because it was the only way I could kill anyone. So yeah, people hated me when I played. But but to watch them play was more fun than me playing myself. So I get that. Yeah, you could definitely see like somebody who's really talented at it. It can be interesting, for sure.
We used to, before online gaming became as prevalent, we used to rent out conference rooms in hotels, and we would bring in a Switch and a hub, and play all the local games, whether it be Halo or Call of Duty. Couple plane flying games that we played, and it was a lot of fun. Now again, it wasn't a bunch of people that's all they did was play, but we definitely had a good time with it.
Well, I got a lot more video games I want to talk about, including asking Katie later if she thinks Animal Crossing is going to go esports as well. But in the meantime, hey, I want to give a shout out. Of course, we've been telling everybody, please support your local eateries, especially our good friends over at Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. And we hope the Pittsburghers that listen to podcasting will support the pepperoni pizza that is providing the podcast talking. I was looking for another P. Went down. We're still hanging out, grabbing our weekly pie from them. I feel very lonely eating the pie. But I mean, you know what? I think I'll start a round where I'll go pick up the pizza, drop off a few slices to Chilla at least, and then Brian is just up the street. Maybe we'll work on this in the next couple of weeks here at least. I mean, you guys are still quasi locally, so maybe we can do something about this. But anyways. Chilla Dudders, remind me of this after the show. But anyways, no, please support them. Hey, I got to see Rico tonight. I know a lot of craziness going on, and they had some change up in staff, but it was cool to see Rico for the first time in a while. I know he's usually at the PNC Park and the East End locations, all doing great, and good to see that you guys are all supporting those guys as well. So please go check them out. SliceOnBroadway.com. 4 locations in the Pittsburgh area: Beachview, Carnegie, East End, PNC Park. Still doing delivery, still doing pickup. Please go support them and all the local eateries, but especially our good friends at Slice on Broadway. Hey, I think I missed it last week, and I have to apologize to Chachi, but the game journey is still pressing on. He's doing what? Oh, he's got to have something to do. So. But over there at thegamejourney.com, he's running through 1,001 games, trying to get to 1,001 reviews. He's at game 119. He's still rolling through the wild and wacky world of Nintendo DS and Game Boy, it looks like, including Metroid Fusion. I think that was the Game Boy Advanced one, right? I love Metroid games. I've never really beat... No, I'm sorry. Game Boy Advance. I don't think I've ever beat a Metroid. I almost jumped in...
Not even the first one?
Well, with the Game Genie, does that count?
I beat it without the Game Genie. It took me a long time, but
interesting. So there's that. So go check that out. He's got a lot of great articles over there. Go relive your past, and let him know what you think of some of his reviews out there. So some big news from Podner on the AwesomeCast Facebook group. Dark Sky has a new home, and it's Apple. Dark Sky, of course, the weather technology app company that's been, I think it's still behind Weather Underground, that I've been using for a while. And love that. It was a subscription-based app. It's been purchased by Apple. So hopefully that means your weather app is going to be a lot cooler in the near future. And also you just Sherlocked all the rest of the weather apps probably in the long run. Because I think like all the major ones that like people like are kind of built. And this is the one where it's like super like, hey, where you're at, you're probably going to have rain in that area. Not like you're going to have rain in the Pittsburgh greater area. Like, it's very kind of precise and has really helped me out when I'm, say, filming cars with a $3,000 video camera in the middle of a field all day in God knows where in America. Very helpful to get these notifications. So, no, not Crimson Sky. That's a game for the Xbox. I know that. No, Kraus. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a weather app.
Oh, Crimson Sky, no, that was the game we would play. That was the fighter plane game.
Yeah, like the World War II fighter planes. Yep.
Yeah. What was the weather app that's kind of snarky that like would compare it to like the Planet Hoth or?
Oh, I don't remember.
You know what I'm talking about though?
Hey, Dudders, do you remember that? I feel like that would have been one of your stories.
Shoot, what is it? It's got lots of swear words. Weather app swear words. I'm googling it. Weather app swear words.
The people I feel bad for is if you're a fan of Dark Sky on Android because they only have to like June.
Ooh.
Like Apple's gonna pull it.
Yeah. That's a shame. So like what is going to become of Weather Underground? What's going to become of other applications like that? So, because I mean, this seems like it was kind of the forerunner. Partner's saying super local, super time precise. You will have rain in the next 15 minutes or 30 minutes. Although, I'm wondering if this is already constricting, like if all the writing was on the walls, because I noticed things were going away in Weather Underground. Like, I always loved the widgets. It was always like I flip over and there's the widget to see what the day looked like. And I do remember getting the notifications of like, hey, it's going to rain in 15 minutes. And I stopped getting those at some point. And maybe this has been a long time coming over the last several months that they were redoing it. Actually, Weather Underground says that it's information provided by IBM. So maybe they did do a restart. Notification.
That's one thing that I do like about Apple too, is like whenever they make an acquisition like that, they truly integrate it into their software. Android, for example, Google, like they bought Waze, but like they didn't. You would have thought they would have taken the best of Waze and the best of Google Maps, they are.
They are. A lot of Waze data and features are starting to roll into Maps and vice versa. It's like you're not getting the little like Oscar the Grouch icons for your cars, but like a lot of that data they took a while to do it, but you're starting to see that more and more there. Did somebody else want to speak on that? I thought I heard. No way. Okay. But yeah. Let's see what else we got here. I don't know. Star Wars weather forecast. No. Yahoo locked down our weather API. Nope, that didn't work anymore. So let's see what else we got here. Brian, you had a story about Pornhub.
Yeah. So they are doing some interesting things. They are donating 50,000 surgical masks to the coronavirus front lines in New York City, which New York City now is kind of the epicenter in the world of the coronavirus crisis. Probably because there's so many people that live there. So it's definitely great that they're doing that. They're also offering free porn to encourage social distancing. So they're doing their part to keep people in the house. And I could see that could be really interesting. And they're also coming up with a relief fund for sex workers too, which is nice. But I think that the porn, if they're going to offer the free porn, I think it could be really interesting. Like it could be like somebody who's maybe suffering from the coronavirus and a hot nurse walks in. Like I could just see some really interesting scenarios coming out of this, some really creative storylines.
Yes. And yes.
maybe there's a shortage of supplies, right? So like, the patient lifts off his mask, here, have mine, and it turns into some sort of like sexy romance.
I don't know if you call it a sexy romance necessarily, but they've been like there were stories about them starting to do coronavirus porn like a month ago when the China stuff was happening. And then interestingly, when they provided it at home for at least a little bit at the top, instead of Pornhub, it said Stay at Home Hub, and it was their effort to flatten the curve. And very. I
will say at least one company in the United States was taking the coronavirus seriously when it was happening in China. Good for them.
I'm curious about what happens to the numbers. Like I can't wait to see, once the curve has been flattened, things are leveling out. We see what did Pornhub find happen? Because I know Dudders, you like looking at the numbers and stats over there.
Oh yeah, that'll be great. I can't wait. It's gonna be so much fun. It's just like to deep dive into that.
Yes, especially with everything like from Marvel to Disney movies getting delayed. what comes up in the search as everybody's getting their fix. So, anyways, let me try.
Do we have an update? Is what are they doing about Black Widow? I know Wonder Woman got moved, but
I don't know if I heard. I heard that it did officially get delayed, and I don't know if there was a new date necessarily. Okay. There was somebody somewhere involved with the movie. Actually, no, the guy that plays Harper on Stranger Things, that plays the father. Mm-hmm. I think he was pushing for them. It's like, yeah, they should just release it online. It's like, I don't know about that. I don't know if they're going to do that with a Marvel franchise tentpole like that, but I don't know. And does anybody have this Earth Cam? Unfortunately, I can't open the story that Podner left in here. It's not opening for some reason. Want to try?
Unfortunately, it's just coming up as an app for me.
Earth Cam. It's an app.
It's an app. Yeah, it's an app in the Apple Store. So
I got it.
Click it. Yeah.
It works now. It's an Earth Cam, so you can travel at home. It's a webcam collection. So you can see. Although I don't know, like I'm looking at the I'm looking at the cam examples on the app here, and it says let's see, New Orleans cam. That's probably does not look as busy as that example right now. Oh, there's a McDonald's.
You imagine the New York cam.
Yeah,
right now.
There's a New York cam too, because I'm like, oh look, a McDonald's cam. No, that's Times Square. Yeah, I mean that might end up depressing. It is a $4.99 app if you want to check that out. So Podner shared that. So oh no, let's just get. Okay, what was the $4.99 part? Oh, you can get all the in-app purchases for $4.99. So it's probably expansions and okay. Yeah, I was giving.
Can you like host a cam that goes on here?
I don't know. That'd be nice. I feel like so. Where do you go for webcams? Like I feel like like things just have webcams on their sites at this time, like your local news or something. Like if I wanted to, because I've been thinking about this too. Because like if for a time I wanted to just put a camera out the front window here at the studio. And just have a beach view cam, a neighborhood cam, and just like because this is the main throughway for this neighborhood, like where would I put that these days?
Why wouldn't you do the same thing? Why wouldn't you just point it out the window?
I will say I am looking into wireless webcams right now that are outdoor.
There you go.
And there is one I'm looking at. It is, let me see if I can pull up the name here. It's $70-some, and it's rechargeable. And what's great about it is it uses a magnet, so you don't have to actually drill into the wall or anything like that. I'm looking to put up 2 in my house. It's called it's from a company called Zoomall, ZUMIMALL. It shoots in 1080p. What's nice about it is it also has an SD slot on the actual camera, so you can record right on the device itself. It also will connect to Wi-Fi. It's got 2-way audio as well, so you can talk to people, and it does have motion sensor, and it's waterproof and night vision as well. So it comes with everything for. It's on sale right now for $71.99 on Amazon. We're looking to put one up on top of my above my upstairs window to look down on the cars, and then we're also looking to put one right at our doors. That's the one negative part about my apartment is there are no peepholes to see who's actually ringing the doorbell. So we're trying to solve that problem with a camera. But yeah, so we were looking into these, and that was perfect for me. I mean, it's rechargeable. I don't have to buy batteries. I don't have to run wires, and it also has the local recording as well, which is great.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I'll tell you what, I really like the Wyze cameras, WYZE.
Yeah, those are nice.
Unfortunately, they're not rechargeable or wireless. But I even got for 2 of the rooms, they make an actual like wall mount that goes onto your kind of clips into the outlet into the wall, and it's made it. And our outlets, at least in the basement and in one of the other rooms, are probably at about 3.5 feet. So you get a nice zoom or pan of the whole room.
Nice. There's a lot going on here and a lot of adapting, as we said, and we're helping a lot of people out. Please check out what's going on. Sidekick Media Services here in house at Sorgatron Media. We're helping a lot of people adapt their podcasts, for instance, so we can continue to keep producing the show, much like we are here tonight. With Brian, like I said, Brian, Katie. Chilla would normally be in the studio, but with everything going on, it's good that we still have these remote capabilities, and we're definitely applying that to a lot of different applications out there and helping others adapt their messaging and transitioning from live events that we'd normally be doing to whatever they may be doing for as a relevant alternative. A lot of stuff going on. Let's be the sidekick in your superhero project. SidekickMediaServices.com. Katie, now is the time where we get our awesome crossing.
Awesome crossing.
So
musical chairs.
So yeah, if you okay, that's the first thing. I read this article and it's just digesting this. Well, first of all, there was leading into our conversation earlier was about how you can poop a lot in Animal Crossing. I think we've had a good conversation about that already. But one headline, and let me see if I can pull it up, but it was something in the lines of people in Animal Crossing are doing high-stake games of musical chairs.
Yes.
What?
Okay, so Animal Crossing is fun to play, but you kind of have to make, like, when you have other people you're interacting with, you have to make your own fun. There's, like, not things you can buy or make that are, like, multiplayer. So people are coming up with creative ways to play. Like, for example, when I play with my niece Charlotte, we'll play tag or hide and go seek. And apparently,
but you're saying there's not a tag mechanism. There's really, when you're multiplayer, it's like you visit the island, you can see each other, and that's kind of it.
Yeah, you can go through their houses. Depending if you're best friends, you can use an axe and you use a shovel on their island to dig stuff up. Like, you can go to their neighbors' houses and check them out. But there's no, like, actual gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's not like a mini game almost, if you want to call it.
Okay.
For whenever you have multiple players, so people are making their own games up, including musical chairs. It looks like.
So, and I guess the fun part of this was when it gets down to the last couple of people, because much like many video games, Animal Crossing, your character doesn't always interact with the thing that you intended to interact with.
Correct. So
it becomes even more of a curious game when you can't get in the chair that you're trying to, I guess. Is that how I'm reading this?
Yeah, because I mean, you kind of hope, especially sitting is kind of funny because you try to sit sometimes and it just doesn't happen, or you're not trying to sit and you sit and you're like, what are you doing, friend? But so it's the added challenge of that, and it looks like these players are betting lots of bells on it. That's money in
like how long would it take to collect 100,000 bells?
Not okay. So you can sell, you sell a lot of things. You find things, you sell them. You can also do like the old Animal Crossing hacks where you can plant money trees. So you can just literally have money grow in trees, or do things. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's not terribly long to get that much money if you're willing to put the work in.
So it's like a thing where, like, I've never played it before, so you can actually earn money by playing the game rather than spending money? Is that?
Well, it's bells in their world. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so you can, as you go along, you do different tasks. Somebody will give you money for doing certain things, or rewards, or sometimes it's just buried in the ground.
See, what I kind of like about that and what you were saying is, like, it seems like people are kind of creating their own storylines. Is that accurate?
Mm-hmm. So
because I love that.
Yeah, you can be anything. You can have pretty much, it's really, so you can buy things within the game to kind of customize what your character looks like, but you also, there's ways to, like, people will draw patterns. It's like kind of like a square, and then it's like little squares within the squares, like this little bitmap where you can draw patterns in clothes. So you can wear your own custom clothes. So you can really, like, do a bunch of things within there. That's, it's as deep as you want it to be.
So that sounds like something I might be interested in, because I used to play Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2, and it was a game that was literally designed for you to add your own levels and things like that. And people did, and it was a lot of fun. And they even told you in the instruction manual how to add player created assets. So I mean that to me was a lot of fun. This sounds like that would be kind of not maybe lightsabers and stuff, but it sounds like it would be cool to be able to create your own world almost.
And you can do what you want. You don't have to, if you're not interested in fishing, you don't have to fish. I mean, you can collect all the fish, or you could not, or you can collect all the butterflies, or you could not.
Or you can get stung by a wasp, whether you want to or not.
Yes, which I do multiple times.
So this did inspire me, since I don't have a Switch. I re-downloaded Animal Crossing for the iPhone. It's on Android as well. And we were all playing this from day one, I remember. And I load it up, and I'm like, huh, I'm wearing a Santa outfit. And I go visit Dudders Island, and I was like, oh, she has a Christmas tree up. I wonder when we all stopped playing this. So I think 2 Christmases ago was our cutoff date for Animal Crossing, which we probably played hard for about 4 months, maybe at that point.
Yeah.
That was the go-to. We were given kudos every day, or whatever the thing was, and no, that was the thing. They've done there has been plenty of updates to it. So if you haven't visited that in a while, it might be worthwhile for you if you dedicated a significant amount of time to Animal Crossing. Yeah, because you can't do Pokemon Go. So if you need your Nintendo,
they're doing stuff with Pokemon Go, and they're doing stuff with Wizards Unites, and I noticed Microsoft on Minecraft Earth. They're doing something where it's doing step tracking. So it's based on the number of steps you put in, it spawns more stuff around. It almost focuses spawns around you, which I thought was pretty impressive. So one of the things that I read was go walk around your house twice, around the outside, just stay in your yard and walk around your house twice, and it'll force a bunch of respawn, which I thought was pretty interesting.
So the Steve's in the chat, and he's saying, so this makes sense why someone on Facebook was asking how much they sold their turnips for today. Yeah, so if you're just why are people just talking about turnips and growing it? I saw one too where I was like, well, guess I'm just gonna go grow some more turnips, and just that's an interesting response. So yeah. Boy. Hey, there's some good news. John Krasinski of The Office and A Quiet Place. Sure, he's known for that too. What was the one? Jack Ryan on Amazon. He does that too now. So to keep that recent. He launched a YouTube channel dedicated to good news. Much in the vein of everybody else who's doing their high level broadcast show from their living rooms right now. He started a show where he's just, again, it's good news. He's talking with Steve Carell about their early days on The Office. He interviews actually a girl who came home from her chemotherapy, and the entire neighborhood came out to applaud her coming home in a social distancing celebration. They talk about people applauding across the world for the medical workers. So it's a really good thing. So if you're kind of like me and you've developed this, well, this is how I'm going to digest things in the world, along with the Fallon and Colbert and Trevor Noah kind of things. This kind of fits right in there for you and helps you kind of feel okay about what's going on. So go look at it. It's on YouTube. He's got an episode and a little preview up so far. It looks like he's going to do it weekly, and he is not wearing, I don't think he's wearing pants. Somebody was, I don't know which one I was watching today where they're talking about how they weren't wearing shoes. So, one of those. That's been a lot of fun. Have you guys seen anything new in the last week that you're, kind of a fun demonstration of people doing things from home for these major shows?
Locally, musicians are doing local performances all across Pittsburgh, and a lot of times they've been coordinating actually. So that way, every hour there's another musician, and they're actually creating lineups, and they're also using they're actually also using Zoom to create open mics as well. So since the open mics can't happen, they've actually created open mics through the internet, whether it be the Hambones open mic on Tuesday. I'm just mentioning the ones I know, and the Acoustic Cafe on Monday out of the Funhouse at Mr. Small's. Those two open mics have been doing virtual open mics since they weren't able to meet in person.
Mm-hmm. Chilla, what stories do you want to hit on here? I see you got a couple at the bottom of the rundown.
So the one that I thought was interesting was you can put it up, the Sidekick G1. There is Planet Computers is building a very unique physical keyboard smartphone, the Astro Slide. It reminded me of kind of like a cross between the Sidekick and the G1. It's a 6.53-inch touchscreen Android 10 device. What I thought was pretty cool is the screen slides to the side, and I had the T-Mobile Wing, which is a Windows Phone slider like this one, where it slides landscape to reveal a big keyboard underneath. But what I thought was really cool is when it has what they call the rock up slide hinge. So when the screen gets all the way to the end, it kind of kicks up on an angle. The other thing that I thought was interesting about this one is that they're planning to also dual boot Linux. It is being crowdfunded. The only bad part is it is being crowdfunded on Indiegogo. So hopefully they actually are able to make this device. But the early bird pricing was $491, which is pretty good for 48 megapixel rear camera, 6 gig of RAM, eSIM slot, on top of 2 nano SIM slots, 128 gig of storage that also uses micro SD for expansion. So I thought it was a pretty cool looking device. If they don't make it, hopefully someone else will. And the keyboard looked pretty decent quality.
Yeah, we have. So let's see. It's a slide out phone. It's a sideways. It's a long bar slide out phone. And you haven't seen it. Somebody out there wants that. Somebody out there misses their keys.
I want that.
Yeah, exactly. I can see. It's one thing to sit in, sit in an airport and trying to get my work done on a phone, but just to have that little keyboard, right? To be able to just kind of sink your fingers into something, into that email, because you're like, I'm not going to write that email because it needs a lot more than I can do on my phone and not drive myself insane, right?
I'll tell you what, so I've done one of two things. I either pull out the iPad that has the keyboard on it, or I've actually on the rare occasion where I do need to get that email out, but I don't want to thumb it out, but it's going to be long. I've become a user of the speech to text. Hit the microphone button and just start talking, and then I go back through and do a little bit of touch up with some extra periods or fix a couple rambling ons, and it's not as bad as you would think, and the text to speech is actually pretty good.
Interesting.
Now, you do look kind of weird. I actually usually, when I do that, is I hold the phone up like I'm talking on it, because I feel like I'm weird sitting there with the phone in front of me, like dictating into it.
Doing it the Kardashian way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, as the Kardashians do. All right. Well, hey, guys, we've been at it for a bit. Thank you, everybody. First of all, thank you, Brian, for joining us here from
Thank you for welcoming me back to the A team, or onto the A team.
Live from right down the street. Yep. He's 3 blocks away, guys. So, thank you so much again. pghmuseums.org.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Katie, for joining us and keeping us updated on the world of Animal Crossing. And may your turnip farming be fruitful.
Thank you. You're very kind.
Where can people catch up on what's going on with you?
Kate Marie PGH on Instagram mostly. Yeah, I put most of my stuff there.
My mom says hi. She's been asking about you.
Oh, tell her I said hello.
If she's not in the chat room already. And also, no, that's Brian. We already talked to you. John Chilla at Chilla on the Twitter.
ChillaTech.net, John Chilla on the Facebooks.
And of course, please check out everything on AwesomeCast.com. A lot of things going on. Again, we're going to have the second of our series with the Jagoff Live. We've been helping to conduct and organize and help tech support everybody everybody doing their remote performances, one comedian and one musician every week. And I don't know the schedule off the top of my head, but you can go see who's coming up at your Jagoff. We will be live on their Facebook page. And you can also join. We'll be streaming on the Sorgatron Media social media across the board as well, on Twitter, Periscope, YouTube, and Twitch should be live tomorrow, Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. if you want to join that. And like I said, there's a lot of stuff. We had Byron Nash and comedian Colin Chamberlain were a part of the first rendition of this. It was a lot of fun. So go please join us for that Wednesday night. And we have a link over at sorgatronmedia.com if you want to see the first edition of that as well. Byron played 3 songs. It was a lot of fun. A lot of great stuff going on there. Listen to Your Parents podcast. Matt Carlins has been putting together, talking with other parents in these interesting times of being a parent right now. So that's a live stream that we were doing on the Listen to Parents Facebook page. That is 9 p.m. Thursday nights. And I think we're going to keep that schedule. And I think we're bringing back our Indie Mayhem show. We're going to get some indie wrestlers together in a round table like this and just say, how are you guys handling not wrestling for the last month in maybe the near future? So we'll be touching base. I believe the Beast Man is going to be earmarked for that, is the one confirmation I got. I should probably book more. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, supporting this and sharing things throughout the week over on the and Brian had an issue with his TV kicking on because of Fire Cube.
I don't know if anybody asked me anything, but I literally walked away from this to turn it off. It started going on. I was afraid it would bleed through the show.
I heard something. I'm like, who has people over? It doesn't. I'm like, I'm doing the math in my head of where everybody's at. I'm just like, wait a minute.
I think the Fire Cube kicked off and it sent it to the actual antenna was the problem. I didn't actually have the TV turned off.
It's that kick on thing. I know my Apple TV. So if you're watching Apple TV and then you're like, oh, you know what? I'm going to go play Xbox, and you flip over to the Xbox HDMI. When the Apple TV goes off, it turns off the TV, even though it's not on that channel. So Missy's in the middle of her Assassin's Creed, and she's like, "Damn it!" So, thank you, everybody. We'll see you guys next time. You've been our awesome audience. Have an awesome week. All right, thank you, chat room. Chatting it up. So thank you so much for joining us. We'll be on in about an hour for Wrestling Mayhem show, and my least excited for a week before WrestleMania